Hello and welcome. My name is Ariani Diaz and welcome to my channel. In this channel, we talk about beauty, empowerment, things that light me up, and things that truly inspire me. And in this case, it will be empowering you. I assume you know because of the topic. So let me finish until that motorcycle just moves that out the way. So a little backstory. I've been in social media wanting to do this professionally or becoming an influencer or something along those lines. I will call myself a creator, a digital creator. I feel that's more in alignment with who I am, because I don't necessarily try to influence people. Even though some people can be influenced, but my intention mostly is to bring out creations and share them with the world. So that's why I just put that label on myself, I guess. But the reason I wanted to create this video is because I've been doing this for about, I will say, 6 or 7 years. And I got to a point where I got monetized on YouTube, and I was doing okay. I wasn't doing like really well, and really well for me, it will be keeping myself motivated, uploading consistently, finding inspiration, because that's like what like makes me joyful, just keeping myself inspired and uploading. And along this long journey, there has been kind of like a battle within me, like, yeah, I want to be seen and I want to be perceived, but I don't want people to see me and perceive me. And obviously there are reasons for that. I really had a fear of being perceived and being seen, because when you're perceived and you're seen by other people, there can come judgment with it. There's also going to be people that benefit from your gifts and your work, but there's also people that are going to judge you. And that's like one of the reasons why I was like, not going into it. But I'm going to share with you the wisdom that I've gathered, some of it, not all, but some of the wisdom that I feel are like the most important things right now. The most important things that were for me to actually show up authentically and become more comfortable being authentically myself in front of the camera, because I know that can be a challenge for a lot of people, and it can be a challenge if you want to share your work and your gifts with the world. So with that little bit of backstory, I'm going to share 6 things that helped me tremendously and continue to help me tremendously for me to show up consistently online. Okay? So number 1, and this is gonna be a little controversial if you are a family person, if you come from a culture where family is really important and their opinions are really important. But the number 1 thing that has helped me the most is to understand that my work, my videos, what I upload is not necessarily for my friends and family. Like before, it used to make me feel so self-conscious, because I used to ask people around me about my work, and a lot of them were not interested because quite frankly, they're not interested, and that's okay and that's fine. But that was like a block for me, because when you're putting your work out there again, and your family is not interested in what I do, and with that being said, I'm not saying supportive. It's not that they're not supportive, because in my case, it's not that they weren't supportive, but they just weren't, it was not one of their interests. And again, that's fine. And I had to like realize that my audience is not necessarily my friends and family. Like, yes, let's say I post a makeup video and they're interested in it, great, fine. But they're not going to be constantly looking for my tips and tricks and my education and my inspirational videos, because they have their own interests and things going on. So yeah, when I realized that what I was putting out in the world was not necessarily for them, it really opened up my doors, because I realized that my audience was bigger than that small circle. and it helped me realize like, hey, this is not like your people in a way. This is not your people, and that's okay, and that's fine. And it was really good because I came to realize that I also had to honor them. They have different interests, and I don't want to be like, I don't feel good like telling people, you gotta watch my videos, you gotta like, no, like that doesn't feel really good for me to force people, especially loved ones and anybody for that like sake, that you have to watch my videos, you have to listen to what I say, because that just doesn't feel good for me. Again, if they find, you know, that a video topic interests them, they can come to the internet, look it up either on my blog or on my YouTube or on my Instagram and be like, hey, I want to know how to contour. Like let's say my best friend, I want to know how to contour. Oh yeah, my best friend does makeup videos, so let me look it up. And I was like, oh my god, that totally makes sense. Because again, they like, and if you reverse it, like your love, like my mom is interested in different things that I'm not necessarily interested in, and same thing with my friends, and same thing with a lot of close people of mine. Like they're interested in it, I support them, but it's not necessarily of my interest. I hope that makes sense. Okay, number 2 is to set boundaries. This is really pivotal and super important when you're uploading on social media, especially if you are highly sensitive, if you are a people pleaser. It is pivotal and it is so important that you set boundaries. And some example of boundaries that I set for myself, you know, now that I'm constantly uploading work on the internet, is that I have like, I put myself on a schedule on how much I interact in social media and how much I interact with other people, because those times that I didn't, I burnt myself out. And not only do that with like a schedule, you also have to do it energetically, like pull yourself back and bring yourself to reality. It can become a vicious cycle where you're constantly thinking about the internet and constantly thinking about your work, especially if this is your life's work, especially if this is something that you're passionate about, especially if this is something that you're interested in and that you want it to work. But it's counter work, I don't know if that's a word, but it's counter work to constantly be thinking, even when you're not doing work, about your social media and being on social media 24/7. You're gonna burn yourself out. So for me, just setting boundaries within that realm helps me tremendously, and that's how I'm able to keep up bringing amazing things. Okay. Number 3, take criticism with a grain of salt. I think, you know, at the beginning of my journey of uploading on the internet, I adopted a not so healthy mentality of always being on the defensive, always thinking that somebody was going to say something negative about what I was going to put up. And of course, when you put your work out on the public, people are entitled to their opinions. Now that I respect them, sometimes I don't, and that's okay. And sometimes you are going to get people that are rude. Just know that does not reflect on you, that reflects on them and how they want to interact with your art and your work. And again, I was like so defensive at the beginning because I was like so scared of criticism. So honestly, just get over the fear of criticism. People probably are going to criticize your work, and that's okay, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to internalize it. Number 1, never internalize other people's criticisms, especially strangers on the internet. And of course, have energetic boundaries on what you allow in your head and in your space, and like, you know, in the way that you think and your psyche and all of that. Now, number 4, and this is so important, is that when you're starting, don't worry much about the views and focus on what brings you joy. There's a lot of people that quote unquote blow up overnight, and kudos to them. That has not been my journey. I have had a couple of viral videos and just when that happened, I wasn't really prepared for those things, and my nervous system really went haywired, and it got me like really nervous and all of that, and I didn't really like it. I like more organic growth. I'm not gonna say that if a video doesn't go viral, it's not good, especially if you have a business and you're trying to sell something and it's a good marketing strategy, then that's what you want. But again, going back to the views, come from it when you upload something, come from a perspective of if it brings you joy. I mean, when I put my work out there, what I want people to feel, and the intention is for people to feel joyful, for people to see something good, for people to feel lightweight and lighthearted. Like, yes, sometimes I speak about difficult topics, but I always try to bring it with some lightheartedness and things like that, because that's just like who I am. And again, something that has helped me is like, for example, I'm doing this video and I'm feeling a lot of joy because I love creating and I love being on camera and I love sharing my wisdom, especially with those that have a nervous system similar to mine, that are highly sensitive. And yeah, I realized that when I pulled back and I started creating from joy and not how many views will this video get, it feels so much better on my body and on my nervous system, and I have kept that ever since. Like, I think about, like, an idea comes to me and I analyze it, I think about it, I feel into it, and if the idea feels in alignment with me and it brings me joy, or, and you know, like my channel is about empowerment or beauty, and I go with it. Okay, number 5, and this is more about the business aspect of this, of sharing your work on the internet and online and social platforms, is for you to learn about your worth. I struggle with this a little bit because as a creator and as an artist, you're kind of the one that has to put the worth into the art. And because like this journey has come to me, it's been so long, and honestly it's so good because I'm kind of becoming really good at business and what other business owners want. I have come to learn about KPI, key point indicators, and I'm able to talk in conversations with other businesses in regards to those things. And I say to know your worth because, like, for example, a lot of times before, business used to come to me because they will send me products, but they wasn't really clear on the point of why they were sending me products. Was it PR, or they wanted me to do a video? Or what is your, you know, KPI? What is it that you want to get out of the video? And I learned that I'm mostly an artist and I am a creator, and I like to create beautiful videos. I'm not mostly I'm not a salesperson. It was something that I was uncomfortable with. It's something that I'm working on right now, and just like promoting if it's something that's in alignment with me. But before, there was a lot of business that used to come to me, and it was for the sales aspect, and there wasn't really clear on the language when it comes to that. So I say get really good at understanding business language so that you're able to get to know your worth. And for example, when a company comes to me and asks me to do a video, I am now able to ask, you know, what is it necessarily that you want, like, the video to do? Because, for example, I make the videos just for the art of it. I love like photography, videography, and, you know, color grading and different shots, and that's like my thing, like creating a beautiful masterpiece. The video is not necessarily meant to sell. the video can sell sometimes because of its beauty, but it's not necessarily, I'm not over here and saying, hey guys, I just bought the iPhone and the iPhone is, you know, the best iPhone that has come up yet. You should buy it. It's $8.99, and I'm over here trying to sell you something directly. And some companies want that, and that's not necessarily where I'm at. I'm more like, I can shoot a video beautifully with photos of the iPhone. So, and let me just expand a little bit about this so you can get a story what I'm trying to say. So there was this company that reached out to me, and we were going back and forth on, because they wanted to send me some piece of clothing. I really love the clothing, and I was willing to work with them, but they was not really clear on what is it that they wanted. And then when I asked for like the project scope of what the video wanted, there were certain things on the video that they wanted. For example, they wanted full copyright of the video, that they owned the video, and they wanted to pay me a very, very low amount. And in my way of viewing things, it was totally exploitive. And I say this because I've done modeling before, paid modeling before, and I like, for example, there's an initial like payment of the modeling, and if a company wants to reuse the video for you know, another season, in this case photos, if they wanted to use the photos for you know, another year, then they had to pay me again. And this company just wanted to pay me a flat fee, and they had totally the total copyright of the video that I was gonna make for them. And yeah, it was theirs, and what they wanted to pay me was like really, really low. And that's also where I come, like, know your worth, know what you bring, and just get to know the business. Honestly, just get to know the business of these things. I know as a creative, it can feel scary, overwhelming. Sometimes you cannot, sometimes you, again, do not feel worthy of thinking that you're a business person. But at the end of the day, this is also a business if you want to make money with it. So also, yeah, get to know the business aspect of you being online as a creator. And the last thing, which is number 6, is work on your perfectionism. You know, I recently launched myself as well, my website, www.organisdiaz.com, and it's like a long dream of mine to have like a blog, because I express myself really well writing. I'm able to flow easier, and ideas, I just feel more comfortable writing. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I don't care if there's like grammatical mistakes. I don't care if there's spelling mistakes. I'm just gonna do it. And you know, the first blog went up. I uploaded, again, I let go of it. I'm not thinking about views. I'm not overseeing it. That's another thing. Try not to obsess too much about your latest work. But I let it go. And then, you know, a couple of days later, because I always like to take a look and see where I can improve lovingly. So I went back to the first blog that I did, and I did notice some like things that I would like to improve on. And yeah, it's about that. And if I was stuck on the perfectionism and being like, well, I'm not a writer, I don't have an English degree, how can I be a blogger? And it's also looking about the bigger picture. And for me, again, with my blog, is to complement my YouTube videos, and is to know like, okay, I feel like this topic is a little too much for me, being on camera and writing about this. Let me write this on the blog. And it's about like knowing the value of what of the information that you're putting out there, and not necessarily thinking, oh my god, I made a grammatical mistake, like I'm done, I'm doomed, people are not going to take me seriously. Honestly though, I don't want my readers, I don't want readers like that just are petty about the little things like that. The readers that I want is the ones that really want to get the information, really want authenticity. And again, it's not saying that over time I'm not going to get better, because yes, I am. And as a skill, you continue to practice, you're going to get better. And yes, those are my 6 tips. And I really hope you're able to take something from it and learn from it, and are able to take this and you just put your work out there and put yourself to be seen in your gifts. And thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.